Hello everybody and welcome back to Oakbridge Farm. So we're just returning from the store from renting our olive harvester. So we have gone for the upgraded engine and the upgraded tank so we can get 4,000 litres of olives into here. We are, however, because it's raining, we're not going to do the olives just yet, but I thought if we get it, we can always leave it at the start of the olive grove and then we can get on with some drilling, which again, that's not ideal to do in wet weather, but we have to do something. And whilst it is raining, I can show you that we have had, well, first things first, I missed the grow state to do this with the hoe, so we are going to have to do our canola field with herbicide, because these are now too established and too big and the hoe won't do it, which is annoying because that's why I bought it, but that's completely my mistake. And then we're going to sell this today and we're going to return, because the bale fork's still on lease, and we're going to return the bale fork, as well as you will notice the mixing plant has changed. That other one, first things, I put the wrong one down, which was the auger wagon version. They come under vehicles. So, well, they're in your construction page, but to sell them, they are vehicles. Anyways, I put the wrong one down, which was the auger wagon, so I took that one out and put the proper one down, and I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I could not. I'd put all the materials in, and it was just giving me forage. So I went back onto ModHub and found this one, the only difference is it requires mineral feed. So I've put mineral feed in and all that sort of thing, and we've already got just shy of 6,000 litres of total mixed rations. I think that's the only change that's happened in the interim. But right, we want to get the John Deere, and we are going to go, I think we're going to go drill wheat in this far field, and then where the sunflowers were over there, I think we're going to put that into grass, because I do have an idea that could be I don't want to go this way. That could be the perfect place for a sheep pen or a goat pen to put one of the buildings up, which if I go on to here, this will be the quickest way probably. If we whiz over here, so put all this back into grass, and then because you've got this this double gate, you could put a sheep pen in here, the actual building, and then fence off the whole place, so you can store your grass in here or your hay bales in there, and then feed your sheep pen there. But right, we will get on to, I always forget what it is, field 13 or 14, and we will start by drilling some wheat. And here we are. So let's unfold that. We're still set to canola, so let's go. Wheat's always the first one, and we can pull into here. I would like to buy that other field there because it makes it more worthwhile us coming over here. So steering assist, I don't think we need 3 headlands, so let's go for 2. Right, and then we can start in the middle. I do really like this place over here. It's very picturesque. But is it all on and going? Yes. Brilliant. Well, we will quickly get some wheat put into here. to start off the day, then we want to, like I say, get back to that other field and we will look at putting grass in. I don't know whether we will do that straight away or not, but I'm hoping this rain, if we have a look, when should this... Right, so I have missed 2 little bits, 3 little bits, 4 little bits, but that's fine. If we have a look on here, is it calendar? So by 1 o'clock it should have cleared up, and it'll be quite warm, to be fair. And then hopefully we can then get on to the olives. Rain's never a good time for a farmer, I wouldn't have said, because we've also got fertiliser to put on, which I imagine if you were to put some nitrogen into the ground when it's raining, it would just wash it away, so it would do no good. Luckily this is just a game, so we can get away with doing these, doing things not quite exact as they were. Do I own that bit of land there? Do I own that? Where is farmlands? Okay, so I do own... Okay, I'd have to buy that. I do own that bit of land. I'm just trying to find little pockets. You used to own all of this. Just trying to find little pockets of land that may be useful to us. Like those trees there, we own them, but you can't get into there. Whilst here, we do own a small part of this. So as if I go to here, am I in... Right, so we own from like here down there. Just trying to think, is there anything that we can make good of here? What's 20? Because that doesn't... Oh, that's a lot of money. Okay, we don't want to look at that. Alright, we'll get into here. And whilst we're driving, if we press Y, grass. This is what we want to try and put in next. This grass field on our right here, when we move the sheep, that's going to be made into a grass field, and then this field on the right here, that is going to become, I think we're going to put maize in there so that we can make some silage out of the maize, whilst keeping this grass field. And then a May, there is these smaller fields, they may be worth buying at the same time as well. And at least we're not, when we are doing grass work, we're not doing it all in one big field. That's sort of my thinking. So instead of 2 back-to-back time lapses, we are going to just park this up in the field here, and then, that's tight, I think I say that every time. We're going to park this up in the field here, and we will go find... I'm not looking forward to this bit because this is going to take a while. We're now going to go and take this to the store and we will get it sold and return the silage fork. I don't expect much for this at all, but every little counts, and even if it affords to buy one of those smaller grass fields, I think it's worth us selling it. So let's go to here. So repaint. I don't know whether... So 7-1... Right, so that will give us 38,007. Okay, so repainting it has up the price. So let's sell that, 38,205. And then if we just have a look, what are these fields? 52. And that one... 36. So we could buy, let's visit, oh, this is the one. It's a beautiful little drive into here. There is no gate up on the top, so the gates are only on the side down here and through there. So do we buy this one just to give us a bit of grass? This is the one that I'm really interested in getting, because we can obviously come through. Oh no, there is water, so this puts us onto the other side. And it's not a grass field yet, but we can always plough that up and put that into grass. And then did I look at that one already? Is that the same? 18. Oh, so that gives us, so that is this one. Which it looks the bigger bit of land, but access is, where's access to get into here? Is this where I've cut it off and it's through our grass? It's through our field where we put trees in. Most likely now, looking at this, so you can't get into it without going through that other field. Is there a gate here? Yeah, and going through our trees. What do we do? Because that gives you... Oh no, you've got the gate down there. So that gives you this field. So field 18 is worth 52. 19 is 36, that's 1.5 acres, that's 2.18. This is a good test. So the 2.18 acres, 52,872. So this should be the exact same. But it's not, it's slightly cheaper. That's interesting. But, right. Let's get into our Massey. If we turn this on, and whilst we've got fertiliser in, we might as well go fertilise our grass field that we cut in the previous episode, cut that for hay. So we might as well fertilise that, and then we know that's got a double application on it. And then once we are empty, we can get herbicide and we can go do that other field. So we're doing quite a few little odd jobs today, which will hopefully be very, very beneficial in time to come, and I hope there is enough fertiliser in here to do this field. Getting the big Agrifac sprayer, that would be phenomenal if we could get that. You know, just the pure tank size, the speed and the easiness. The only thing will be is trying to get down these narrow lanes. With it may be a bit like hard work. That's one thing I have noticed on this map. Cracked on today getting these jobs done. At least with this one, if we do cultivate up, I am hoping that we will get another cut of silage out of this before we cultivate it up. But if not, at least when it comes to planting, we don't need to put any fertiliser into our planter, which should save. Well, it won't save us any time, but on the flip side, if we do get another cut, obviously with grass you get your one fertiliser state already, that would just need to go over with the planter once and it will be fully fertilised. So it'll just be after then your weeds to deal with. But with this, we now need to take this back to the arable farm, which luckily is just there, empty it out, and I need to see if we have any herbicide, which I'm sure we should do. It's just rather annoying that we... I can empty as well. I can empty this to save... That's brilliant. I remember I had this problem last time. So if we go to here, I hope if I press I... Is it going to let me do it? I'm sure I did it last time. Pumped it back in by accident. Oh, let's swap to the front tank. Let's dump that in. Brilliant. And then... Ow. We've got no herbicide. So, very easily sorted. We don't want that much. I think if we got let's go 5,000 litres, then we know we've got plenty. Let's go to here, herbicide, yes please. And one front tank, I would say, should do it. And we're full, 1,500 litres. So we can get this over to the field. I don't think we'll start it just yet, because I think the olive harvest will do a little bit, then come away and then do a little bit more. Which brings me on to a new trailer that I think we should buy. I think it would be very worthwhile having it. Well, let's just line this up on this field, and then we can leave it be for now. And obviously the narrow tyres are proving evident now to this, so there should be no crop damage at all. I do need to switch the traffic back on as well. I turned that off when I was using the Nexat machinery, and I've completely forgotten to put it on. Back on. Right, here, where are trailers? So we need a little trailer that it should be able to tip into, because with that's 24 with the extension, but I don't think it will get that high, and that is 18.5 with no extension. We also have, we could go for one of these bigger trailers. Oh, I do love these high tips. If we ever do peas, that will be perfect. But I don't think, what is it, 17.3. We also need to think about, it could be our trailer for the chickens. A nice little trailer to be able to, that could work. There's a lot of a galvanised hose holder. Side markers, no, we don't need that. Rear decal. Oh, that's at the bottom there. Oh, it's just changing the colour of it. New mud guards. Can't even see them, so no. Front ladder. So for an extra £100 we get the front ladder. Why not? And the secondary colour is the cover. What happens if we were to go red? It's not the cover. It is this bit here. Tension belt. Well, I think that will be 25,000, because I was originally thinking of going for this one, because then it's the perfect, with the extension that's on it, it's the perfect size. But I'm very conscious we've got a lot of class gear, and I don't want to continue on that front getting too much. So we will go with the Red Rock trailer, which is the exact same as, well, it's the exact same as our bale trailer, which is absolutely fine. So we went for, just need to get it back to normal again. And what BKTs, we'll go for that. Galvanised, we'll go for a front ladder, why not? Make it look a bit nicer. I'll try and make it, and you get 40. Right, that is the trailer we need, 100%. So we'll buy that, and we will now find, which if we go, oh, the rain stopped now. I better slow down time now. We'll go get the case, and we'll go pick it up in here. We will just have to, that needs some fuel, so let's put some fuel in there. And I think the John Deere's are saying that also needs a fair bit of fuel putting in it. And she is full. I imagine we'll have to buy some more diesel. There is a diesel tank at the other farm, which I know that I've used that already, but I just don't know how much is left in it. But anyways, we'll go get our trailer, and then we are ready, and we can do some olives. I do really like these trailers. I never used them in FS22, but I don't seem to recall seeing them on ModHub, unless anyone can tell me otherwise. I'm sure they would have been definitely on third-party websites. but Mod Hub, I don't remember ever seeing them. I know I did see, who was it now? Chainsaw 100. I did see his on his Barley Springs playlist. I did see that he used one there, which I don't think they were done in litres though. I can't remember how it did the weight and the capacity, but it definitely wasn't in litres. It's also very fitting going with this tractor. But right, we'll get this down to the olives, we'll park it up there, and we can make a start harvesting, which is something I'm really looking forward to. One thing I didn't check is if this would take olives or not. I know the grapes have a special grape trailer, so I'm just presuming, oh, we're in a tree, I'm just presuming that it can do. So without going to check again, I am just going to trust that I've made the right decision here. If not, what we may do is, if we have to go and get a different trailer, I may sell the big black one. I can't remember what is it, a Kempe? I may sell that one and keep this one. Right, how do I? There we go. I knew I had it remapped on a button somewhere. So let's get into here. And steering assist should work on here, and I'm just hoping that with it being relatively flat, it works okay, because I have seen some people where they have struggled with these, where they've been on slightly undulating ground. So let's turn it on and let's go over. We'll start like this, put this on steering assist, yes please. So hopefully put that on and let's go. I do love how it shakes the, well, it won't be vines, the olive trees, and all the chaff and stuff coming out the back. Oh look, and you can see, is that chaff or olive? Oh, the olives are dropping down into there, and the chaff's coming out the back. And the brilliant thing about these harvesters is it's right underneath the cab, so you put yourself above the line of trees, and then you're right, because I know with the New Hollands, they're slightly off to the side, which does make it, it's not tricky to do, but it makes more sense to be right on top. And what does the in-cab view look like? Well, very minimalistic. I am hoping was it interactive controls where you could, when you're in the cab, you could press buttons and all sorts, like you would do in real life. I am hoping that does come back and become a thing again, because that was brilliant, especially if you were intending to do, say, like a realistic series. That would be very, very handy. Well, let's see how. So 25%. So we can only do just over 3 rows, and this is the shortest of all the rows. So we can turn it off whilst we go turn round, and this is why I put gravel down here, which I probably should have done it on camera so everyone could have seen. But let's turn round. We'll make our way back up this one, after just saying how good it is and how easier it should be. I can't go and now crash, can I? Right, steering assist on, cruise control on, but yeah, we will get on, and we may do 2 unloads, and then we may just come away and do something else. 100% that was lucky. So we will empty this into here, and then we will go off, and I think we will drill. Well, do we drill or do we spray? Is that going to work alright? Considering I've hit our brand new trailer with a lease machine. We will then go and we'll either drill or spray. Right, so we can leave this now. If we line it up with the grove we're going to next, which I think it's 5 left, so we can leave this onto here, and we will just turn it off so we're not clocking the hours up. And then with this we may go to, how many litres have we got? 7,000. So we could put this into the smaller oil mill, but I'm just unsure whether we should sell it or keep it and just solely use the big one. Let's go and find, this is what we want. So solid fertiliser with grass. Hopefully this shouldn't be, hopefully we've got enough, I would hope. But let's unfold the drill. I think that's definitely the correct plan, because this used to be the old sheep pasture in 22. What's my, oops. Unfolding it onto the gate. Right, let's go on to that. Let's drop this down, and we will get some grass put into here. I did toy with buying the chicken coop down there, but I think it's only for like 30 chickens, so for ourselves it's not really worth having it. You know, it's more of a nice to have sort of thing instead of something that will be productive and provide us with a fair amount of money in the long run. We better just keep an eye on, because there could be a fair few things, because I think if these are coloured, that means they're getting up to the price, to a decent price. So canola oil December, so if I wanted to buy buffalo milk, that's going down in value. So just need to, December's are quite good. So it's November next. So eggs, we could sell eggs next. And that, oh hello. This is why you should never be looking at your phone or anything like that whilst you're driving. Luckily you can't destroy your tractors or destroy your fences. Oh dear. Well, I know one thing, definitely don't do it on this road, because we're getting onto the shorter roads now as well. But it is a lovely map, and I'd love to get that forestry. Well, there's every part of it I'd love to try and acquire at some point. But I know the 3 main things that we do need is a bigger tractor, for one, which will make life a lot easier in every sense. I would like to get that field that is on the other side of the wood over there, just so that we are venturing out a bit more, and a combine. Once we've got all them, we shouldn't be far off having sort of the not bare minimum, that's the wrong thing to say, but we shouldn't be far off having a lot of the stuff that we need to get by. But then we've got a lot of digestate, so a big slurry spreader would be nice, and we're just going to try focus on the smaller fields for the time being, and then leave the bigger ones. If this series is still going, leave the bigger ones, but I'd like to try keep this as sort of my main series, and then look at getting, well, I think I mentioned before, I'd love to do a survival challenge, but I haven't found the right map yet, which I mentioned Carmlands not long ago, but that's very different to the 22 version. There's the likes of the tracks and whatnot, they're sort of built for the Nexat machinery to drive down when it's unfolded, which is a bit strange, and the woodland doesn't follow the map. Well, the map of the old one. I think there's no wood sell point either, so you'd have to place everything into that, which which I imagine if you're a console player, the only way around it is to do it on a multiplayer server, so that you can then obviously get down to 0 and then use a different farm to be able to put in the stuff that you require to be able to do that sort of thing, which is a shame, because it is a very, very beautiful map. I think is it made by Sully? I could be wrong, I'll have to check. Which brings me on to, there is a mod where in your shop menu it shows you I think the creator's name of that mod, which I think is brilliant because it gives all credit so everyone can see, even on YouTube channels, everyone then can see who has made that mod, because to make them, well, I wouldn't have the foggiest idea where to start to make a mod. I think that is what makes Farming Simulator so great, is that every day there is something different that comes out that we can all have a go with. And we get to change how we play and whatnot. So all credit to modders. I think you are all brilliant. I am very conscious that in this episode there may be something like 6 or 7 time lapses, so that's why I'm just trying to jump cut this as best I can, which I don't know how it will come out, but hopefully it won't be too bad and not too hard of a watch. But yeah, that's my intention for this, just to cut one time lapse out. And you've seen us do the drilling earlier on of the wheat field, so I'm hoping you're not missing too much. Ooh, wrong button. You also get to see the mishaps as well. We were doing so well. But right, let's drop that down, and we'll get onto the headlands. It's very important, this being a grass field, that we do get any little misbits. Otherwise, I know for me, like that little bit there, that will always wind me up. Seeing that not in grass and just staying as a bare exposed mud. But I do like to try drill these fields by doing the centre first, because with the ground deformation now in game, I don't like leaving your wheel marks, wheel imprints, which I know over time they do disappear, like there. I don't like leaving them in. It looks scruffy and a bit of a mess. But yeah, I know over time they do go. I forget what % I've set my game to, but I know for for performance, because what we're running at now, 48, 49. Oh no, we're dropping now. I bet if I look this way it'll drop. No, it's going up. Anyways, I know for performance I think mine may be on 200 or 300%. So the more you drive round, the quicker they disappear. But yeah, just for aesthetics, I think it looks a lot better when the field's left like this. And that should mean, let's go to the grow stage. We have got everything, as long as we get this last little bit as well without missing anything. We've got everything. So this means that the drill can now be returned, so we can return that back to the shop, not before we empty it, but turn it off, raise it up, and let's start folding. And we will go have a look at, does this need rolling? We may roll that. I don't know yet, but we may do. It may be beneficial at that, or we could try the grass roller. But I do know this tractor needs diesel. So we just pull on. Do we have a... No, it's at the store, isn't there? There's a bag of seed. Well, not a bag, but a big bag of seed at the store. So that is now empty. So from here, vehicles, that's the harvester, that. Let's return that. Brilliant. And then, is there any fuel here? We may have put the last bit into the case. Hopefully not. But if we need to buy some more, we can do. So that should be plenty, I would have thought. Only your big tanks will be in the likes of your harvesters, I would have said. Well, that should be plenty to get that filling. And the John Deere is full. So let's turn this off. And I think we'll carry on. We'll carry on with the olives. That makes a bit more sense. And then we can deliver them. There I am saying how it's a lot easier to drive, or should be a lot easier to drive now it's central, but every time I go up a row I keep crashing. Well, we'll get this last little bit done and then we can take our olives to the oil mill. I think the last one before that was 98, so we can, to make sure we're making full use, because we've only used 0.3 hours on here. We can add one more row onto the end of this olive grove, so it's not a lot of extra work, but at least then we're getting close to 100%. So that would be 12. What we done? 1, 2, 3. So this is 4. So yeah, 12. Well, no, it won't be 12. It'll be 16,000 litres of olives in total. And then we can just extend that track out a little bit more, and then especially if that's going into maize, it'd be quite a nice sight having all these olives and then a big tall maize crop ready to produce silage with. But right, let's back this onto here. We'll try line it up a bit better than that. We do need to get some into the back because we'll put the majority into the front, and we're now going to the middle. So let's line that up there and let's empty. And then we can go and get this taken over to the oil mill. Well, that's a fantastic machine. I do think I prefer them over the New Holland versions. But whilst we're here, let's go on to, is that it? Let's return that. Thank you. You have been great, but are no longer needed. So yeah, 14,000 litres. It's just a shame that we've got two smaller, I better go back to the track, 2 smaller olive grove lines. But yeah, I think that's definitely the plan. Add another row of olives onto this end before the next harvest. We've got a bit of time to wait before we can plant them, and then it will just give us that little bit more. I think it was about 30% in the tank extra. I'm glad Giants finally saw that to place olive groves and vineyards, that it was so expensive to do, and for the reward you got from it was next to nothing. So I'm glad they have changed them. But on the flip side, silage used to be 700 and some pounds for 1,000 litres at peak time, and at times you'd get 800 pounds per 1,000 litres. Now you're stuck with, where we're looking, silage 350, best price of 410. So they've half the price. I bet just go and where we're oil mill, olives, activate. Yeah, they've half the price of silage, which if you wanted to make quick money and make money fast in 22, silage was by far the way to go. But now, not so much, which does make it that little bit more challenging. But I know even on easy mode, it takes a long time to be able to progress and, you know, make a lot of money. Which, if you're new to the game, you know, it takes a bit to get your head round. Whilst we're here, before we shouldn't have to jump out, but chickens have loads of feed. The water buffalo will want some total mixed ration, but I would like them to use up that silage first. Otherwise, I think they'll start eating the total mixed ration first and leave. Oh, that trailer's there. We can use that trailer instead. Yeah, they'll eat the total mixed ration first and then leave the silage in for later, so you're losing space for your TMR, where I know it's only, 2 and a bit thousand litres, but it's still enough that I'd rather it all be TMR. So let's put that on. Let's hopefully this one works. No. Total mixed rations. Brilliant. So this one I've been able to work, and if I'm honest, I quite like it. I was only avoiding using it because of the need for mineral feed, which is an added expense. But I have heard that putting mineral feed in should make your feed last longer. Whether that is correct or not, I don't know. It's something that I will have to look into and read up on to be 100% sure. But we're just going to put this in here. We're not going to tip it just yet. We'll pass through time until all the silage is gone, because if we sleep through the night, then we'll definitely miss it, and our water buffalo will go to 0% productivity. So I didn't check the sheep. So the sheep also need water as well. But first off, let's finish this. That is another field almost done. How do we narrow our sprayer? Because change working with Control Z, and we can maybe go one more. Brilliant. Save it. That will save us just a little bit of herbicide. Whilst we go and complete. So let's turn that off and we'll fold it up. Well, this has been a very, very productive episode. I think the only thing we need to go do is some water for the sheep, and I believe we can move on water for the sheep and food for the water buffalo, and then I believe we can move on to the next month, which I'll have to have a look around to see what jobs need doing for then. Doesn't look the neatest of jobs having all them bales laid about all over, does it? but I'm hoping... What have we got in here? Right, so this needs... Well, that's completely full, but we'll go... Well, the pasture's completely full, I should say. But we'll go quickly fill this up with our water tank, which is from the amazing Black Sheep Modding, I think. Who, some of the stuff they do is just don't drive into that. Is just fantastic. And I'm really liking the layout of our yard. So if anyone else is thinking the same, then please do leave me a comment to let me know. And I'm very excited to see how this will all end up. Right, that's full. We'll take that back to the sheep, and then we'll pass on a bit of time till all the slurry is being used. We'll give that to the water buffalo, and then that should be us for the day. Let's pull this in here. And you can never quite get it. You've got to, or at least I find, you've just got to reverse it just slightly, which with a dolly on makes it a lot of fun. And if we're not quite right, it won't. Come on, that can't be far away. Oh, it's full, isn't it? That's my bad. Right, now let's find the case, and hopefully if we go to here, let's speed time on, and we should see the food slowly start going down like that. We've got to be very quiet, try not to disturb them too much, but they should be. Right, they're out of food now, so we just jump in here and we'll tip up this total mixed ration for them, so they now have a full trough. They should fill it and leave some more. And we've got another achievement. Oh, I've hit the roof. We need a walking floor. That is definite. But what we'll do is let's turn these lights off now, if I remember which button. And we will go. We'll turn the shed lights off. And now there is nothing more to say than thank you very much for watching. I hope you have liked and enjoyed it. Please give me a like and subscribe, that'd be very kind of you, and we will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.